Hello, how is it going, everyone? So good to be back. Happy New Year. I don't think I was here since then. We have a lot of things to talk about. Yeah, I see a lot of people very hyped for 4.7, which there isn't much news about it, but it's a little bit of clickbait. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's still a lot to do, but it's already, as soon as we release 4.6, we started working on 4.7. But yeah, let's talk more about 4.7 later. Right now, welcome to the stream. Welcome to Godot Tomorrow. I'm Emmy, and let's see what happened since our last stream. All right. So I first wanted to start thanking everyone. During December, we did a campaign for donations, and it worked really, really well. Like, we really appreciate all your support. Also, recently we had two new sponsors join, which I would like to talk about now. One is a corporate platinum, which it's someone you might know, Mike Klubnika, who is the maker of such amazing games like Split or Backshot Roulette. I'm sure pretty much everyone knows Backshot Roulette by now. So yeah, it's great to see when developers that are making games, they enjoy Godot so much that they decide to donate. We really appreciate it, and we want to thank you for the sponsorship. And I gotta be honest, haven't been able to find the time to play Split yet, but looks really cool, and I really want to play it. And I also like this sort of style, and if you're on a computer like you probably are right now, it seems to be like a good fit with the terminal gameplay and all that. So yeah, thank you so much for the sponsorship, Mike, and hope to see what you create next. Then we do have another sponsorship, which is Corporate Silver, which is Evil Trout. Evil Trout, you may not know the company name, but you may know the game, which is The Root Trees Are Dead. Is the game that I know them from. It's incredible. It's super cool to have this sort of like investigative, like kind of clues games where you need to go finding for stuff, kind of like the case of the Golden Idol and such. So it's a great game. You should try it. So yeah, thank you very much, Evil Trout, for the sponsorship as well. And for the rest, if you want to help us out, you can join the fund and help us make Godot happen. All right, now that we thanked our new sponsors, let's see what happened since it's the last time we talked, because it's been a lot. Like, we had now the 4.6 release. Last time I covered what were the things that were going to be included in the website. Now it's already out. And what do you think about the website? I showed a very early version last time. I really liked it. It seems to be full of features that people wanted. We have the new look for the editor. How has that treated you so far? Have you tried it? Do you like it? I've seen only positive comments about it. I was a little bit scared, I gotta be honest, when we released it, but seems like the people liked it, so it looks super cool. And yeah, then making Jolt by default and all those things that I cover. If you are interested in going one by one, I can totally cover all of that again, but I think you should watch the last stream. But I see like some questions already. I'm gonna be doing a Q&A at the end of it, so if you want to stick for the time until we get there, happy to answer any of your questions. But yeah, wow, so many people suddenly. Okay. So as soon as we released 4.6, this is always happening. Like, a lot of people try it for the first time and they catch a lot of things that we didn't notice. So we are working on the 4.6.1, and this is already like a release candidate. Should be out soon. It addresses a lot of issues that people found along the way, and yeah, we're going to be. If you see like the website in the future, you will notice that we're gonna be making some changes on how we present these updates, because we noticed that people were not trying them as much as they were before. So we're gonna try to adapt and find new ways of presenting the snapshots. We were discussing maybe a daily build is something that people will enjoy, and things like that. So we will keep exploring. One of the changes we did, I will show later now, but was yeah, I can show it now. One of the changes was on the website, since we always have too many like snapshots, they also bury some of the posts that we have, like the inverse kinematics return, which was very popular, or the other updates and stuff like that. And we separate on the latest news. We have only main releases, like stable releases, and the other news. And then we have a new section here, which is latest releases, where we only have releases. If we were to have this here, like all this page would be release, 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 and we feel like people started tuning out. So I hope that we get a bit more visibility, and if you're looking for those, they are neatly tidied up here. But yeah, like Firefox Nightly, yes, like any other nightly, like maybe a daily build or maybe a weekly build, but that we don't need to be telling people all the time when a new build comes out. Of course, we want to keep the changelog updated, but it will change how we present it and make it easier for people to test and to find issues before we release. So yeah, for the 4.6.1, the changes are here on the interactive changelog, which you're always welcome to visit. On every post, we always have a link to it. Where is it? Here, see our interactive changelog. It's mostly fixes. Like there isn't anything new coming, of course, but we'll see in the future to, maybe backport some of the features. We haven't been releasing a lot of dot releases lately. We've been focusing on the main branch, but I think that this can change depending on the new release schedule and all that. And talking about schedule, I know people want to know about 4.7, which it's still, of course, very early to talk about, but on the release cycles, we do have more or less 4 months between release and release. So you can expect, by the end of May to have this 4.7 released. A lot, of course, can happen in between. A lot can change. But there were a lot of features that couldn't make it into 4.6 that now are getting ready for 4.7. I don't know which ones are going to be like the bigger ones. I'm still, a bit disappointed that we were not able to get the C# GD extension out, that we were not able to get the C# web exports out yet. But those are things that, I don't want to promise for 4.7 because we don't know what's going to happen, but I would like to see some progress. And from the ones that I know, I think HDR has been getting a lot of traction. I've seen it at Godot Fest, which was a conference last year in Munich. And that will come for sure. I think it looks super cool. It's a bit unfortunate how weird HDR is in general in the different OSs. Like if you're on Windows or Mac or Linux, like they all behave differently. I was like not very lucky to try many games that were implementing it properly. But I hope that we give you the tools so that if you want to make it in your game, you can do it. From what I've seen, it looks amazing. Like when you try the demo and you enable HDR, it seems like when you turn it off again, it seems like the screen is basically dead. So it's quite interesting. So yeah, for 4.7, soon, maybe in a couple of weeks, you're gonna have like more like news about what's what's been happening. But for now, I can tell you that by the end of May, you might have already the release. And yeah. Okay, I have another news. I have something that I haven't shared anywhere else, and you're gonna be the first ones to know. So there isn't much yet in terms of like nicely looking material, but the GodotCon in Amsterdam, it's already scheduled. It will happen the 23rd and 24th of April in Amsterdam. More specific, in Amsterdam North. We're going to share more details about it. This is a call for proposals. If you want to give a talk, if you want to participate at the conference, please do. We're going to be sharing this link probably today or tomorrow on socials and all that, so people can start submitting the talks, which is the most important thing at the moment, getting like a nice lineup of speakers. And then we're going to announce probably next week, we're going to start opening it for selling tickets and getting more information out. We still don't have even the logo or all those things. We're running a little bit late, but yeah, we're very excited. It's going to be the first conference in Amsterdam, which some of you might not know, but it's where the Godot Foundation is based. So it's quite cool. So yeah. Will this replace a North America event? No. 2 events will happen. We're going to be changing names. That was quite confusing in the past. We have so we had the GodotCon in Munich, the GodotCon in Berlin, and then the GodotCon in Boston. Since this year we're going to have multiple, like it's going to be like the one in the US and the one in Europe. We're going to be doing a different name for the one in the US, and we're going to keep the GodotCon name for the main event that we will do in Amsterdam. So it will happen in Boston, but it might have a different name. That's pending for, the date. There's a couple of things missing, but they're going to have some time in between. So if you want to attend both, and you can, you should. But for now, the next one is going to be in Amsterdam. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. Again, I will link this again and also in the description. If you want to participate, if you want to talk and you have a proposal, please send it in. And soon, we're gonna be making a little bit more noise on socials. There's also another thing I wanted to talk about, which was the note letter. I don't know if you remember what the note letter is, but that's like our newsletter that we did monthly, and we did during last year. We ended up, well, when I say we, it's me. I ended up missing the one in December and the one in January, and we're in February now. So you might be wondering what's happening to the newsletter. To be honest, I didn't have the time. You've seen also there were many things happening, like the release and other stuff. And I'm considering like what to do with it. I know people like it. It would be nice to find a way to streamline it, to make it easier to get it out. But yeah, let me know. I don't know if people here in the chat are subscribed to it. I don't know if you even read it. I've been covering it. I'm looking for the link so I can share it here. We have the archive. Well, I should have prepared this one here. Okay, so we have here the archive from all the ones we sent. So the last one was in November, and it's a newsletter where we sent what has been happening at the Godot Foundation, what releases were made during the month, some community and other tutorials, some game releases, tools, jams, a little bit of everything. We also welcome the sponsors. So I think we're gonna keep doing it, but maybe once every 2 months. So we could do 6 in a year, but yeah, I don't know if you have any feedback about it. Please let me know. You can write me on any platform, or you can type here in the chat. But yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge it because I haven't said anything about it yet, and I wanted to be a bit more transparent. All right. So those are pretty much the news I had, and now we can do a little bit of Q&A. I noticed today I'm wearing the O3DE t-shirt, so we are here like promoting other engines as well. But yeah, let me know. I see some questions. I'm gonna go now, read the ones that I missed, and let me know if you have something in mind you want to talk about. Let's see. Is 3D grid map a priority for 4.7? Like, will it feature any update? So 3D grid map, I think it has a couple of updates that have been a bit like stuck in review. I'm not aware of anyone working on it right now, but I think there should be some updates happening there. I don't know how big it will be. One terrain tool I see here as well. So terrains, as always, is something that always comes up. I think it doesn't make a lot of sense for us to ship something by default, but the idea is to ship something with the engine itself. And in 4.7, one of the main goals, and I think we're gonna make it, like, I don't think we will miss this one at all because it should be out soon. We are going to be replacing the asset library tab that you have there with the asset store tab, and it's gonna be hopefully in the future easier for you to have like a plugin, like a terrain editor, that whenever you start a new project you can choose to enable it or not. So I think having that integrations inside the engine, like having that flow better, is gonna decrease the perception that you need to have everything in the main Godot that you download, right? And also on our end, as you can see, like I get a lot of questions. We get a lot of different areas that people want to see improved, and we don't have too many resources to have somebody working in all of those different areas. So it's unrealistic for you to assume that we can do a better job than somebody that's actually doing a terrain editor full time, and they are working on it very hard. So I think that if we improve these integrations and plugins like Flow, people are not gonna feel like we need to be making the 3D terrain editor and all those sort of features. So yeah, let's see what else I might have missed. Change in GDScript. So yes, GDScript will receive some updates. I know everybody's waiting for traits. It's not that I don't want to talk about traits, but I know that work is happening to make traits possible. But whether that will come in 4.7 or not, that will depend on the GDScript team. If they think it still needs more work, we will delay it further. But if it's ready, we can. Are you taking any volunteers to help with that? I assume with the conference. Yes, with the conference we will be taking volunteers, not as many as in other occasions. In this case, the event is going to be organized together with the Dutch Games Association, so they will have a lot of people already like helping us out. But for sure we're gonna need volunteers, so I will share those details whenever I have it. Yeah. Hello, will Godot have better video streaming, like hardware acceleration, for example? I think this is similar, like you mean playing videos, right, inside the games? This is something that always comes up with the different formats, but the main issue we have is the licenses. It's really hard to have like a video encoding on a project that's not GPL compatible, let's say, or like without going to that route. So as with the terrain question, I think a plugin will be better. We might provide one ourselves, but yeah, I'm not sure exactly if that's what you're asking. Um, was there enough content for it? December and January are slow months, right? I assume this is for the newsletter. Yes. Yeah, I think there was enough content for it. There's also many things, games released and tutorials and things that the community is making that we can showcase even from before. Like they don't have to all be happening during that month. So we can always take from the backlog. But yeah, the main issue was, finding the time to check the links, making sure that they are up to a certain quality, that they all fit together, and that it made sense to send it. So yeah. Let's see. What can we expect for 4.7? So in 4.7, you can for sure expect the asset store coming into the engine, and maybe the HDR will also happen. The rest, it's a bit still in the air. Let's see. Wow, so many comments. Do we know what the final release version is for the 4 series? Like 4.9? Blender 4.5 is the last version in Blender 4 series. I'm really excited to eventually use the finished Godot 4 LTS. So if you check how we've been doing this, and you can check here on the website, we were supposed to release a final version for Godot 3, right? And officially the foundation did like release a final version, but then the work continued, mostly led by the community. So the foundation had to step back in and to continue contributing to making the releases and such. So you can see like there are big gaps between releases here in the 3 branch, but I don't think they will stop as long as there are commercial games and there's people using it. If you are targeting a very underpowered device or something like that, it still makes sense to use Godot 3. So there isn't anything that we're gonna, just say like, okay, from here on out, Godot 3.9 is going to be LTS, and we're not gonna do anything else. That's not the case. In our way of looking at this, the only way that we would change, now talking about Godot 4, the only way that we would do a Godot 5, it would be is if we need to break the compatibility enough so that you already know that you're gonna have to make big changes. The most likely thing to lead this would be, let's say we overhaul how GDScript works. We know a lot of people want to see things like traits happen or many other features like that, or compiling the language and stuff like that. And to do that, it would need to break many of the current existing Godot 4 projects. In that case, then yes, we need to release a Godot 5. But as long as there isn't any big reason like that to do it, we're gonna still doing Godot 4.x, right? What happens after Godot 4.9? Well, Godot 4.10. Like it's not like once you get to 10, you move the number. So yeah, we're gonna still be working on that one for the time being. And when enough arguments and enough pain points are there for us to justify making a Godot 5, then we'll consider it and start working on towards that. The biggest issue we had with the release of Godot 4 is that the transition from 3 to 4 was very painful to many developers, and not a lot of people want to go through that. You basically saw something similar in Python when they went from Python 2 to Python 3. We are already all good with Python 3, but I think like along the way, a lot of developers just gave up and changed their priorities or like the choices of languages. And now in Godot, we are in a similar situation where we have so many users using Godot 4, way more than we ever had with Godot 3. Most people even started with Godot 4. That if we release a Godot 5 that breaks compatibility, it will create a massive divide between the users. and that means every tutorial will be probably broken or will need some changes. Like all the commercial projects are still going to be needing some updates for Godot 4. Plus, we will be developing Godot 5 and Godot 4 releases. Like, it's just a lot of work. So if we can avoid it for now, uh, that's not going to happen soon. Um, okay, I took maybe a bit too long into this one, and now the chat continue without me. Let's see where we were at. Okay, I think here. Occlusion cooling could be improved in the near future. Yes, I think there was a PR, right? For occlusion cooling. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe like in a few months, maybe like in 6 months, we can do another Q&A with Clay and see where we are at. But yeah, when will Apple TV exporting happen? So I've heard many people wanting to work on this, and I've heard, especially because if you're publishing for Apple devices and all that, you might want to also publish for Apple TV. At the moment, nobody is funding that work, and we cannot justify working on it. If there was some funds, we would work on it, but it's very unlikely to happen. So unless there is someone working on a game and they want to contribute that back, for now, it's not happening. There are many things happening in the Apple ecosystem side of Godot that are going to be making that easy. For instance, with all the updates for the Apple Vision Pro, like there are things that will get improved in the code base, so that will enable Apple TV exports to be easier. But I don't think at the moment anyone is actively working towards that. So yeah. Um, GDScript traits, I guess. I just arrived. What are you doing? That's what I'm answering. All the questions like that is what I'm doing. I'm answering questions. I already did a little bit of an update on the things that might be coming, and also announced that there is going to be a GodotCon in Amsterdam in April 23 and 24 in Amsterdam North. So yeah. Let's see. Godot in China, very boom. I've seen a lot of users in China, yeah, and actually, like that reminded me, like the Chinese community is growing very fast, and we just need more people in our team who can speak Chinese. So if you speak English and Chinese, or Chinese and any other language, maybe reach us out and help us translating. Okay, it's about a new update. Yes, we started working on 4.7, and I can say that by the end of May, if everything goes right and nothing like changes, you might have 4.7. I just wanted to do a first stream during this year. That means tricks and traits for GScript coming soon. These are features I've been waiting for years. Wow. I mean, coming soon. It's a weird question because we could merge it, right? That's something that people don't think about. Like, there are some PRs that are working for some people, and some people say like, okay, here's the PR, why don't you merge it? But if we merge it, and we know that it's going to create a lot of issues down the line, and then the next time we need to update GDScript, or the next bugs that GDScript start having are super difficult for us to fix, that means that the code will be harder and harder. There will be less people that are able or capable to fix it, and GDScript is going to be buggier and buggier and buggier. And that's a compromise that's really hard to make, because imagine that we do this and we start saying yes to everything, like, yes, give me all the features, everything will be in, but then in your game things are not working as you expect. You have a character moving, you have a variable that's like not working properly. How are you going to fix that, right? And that's the problem with all these new features in a language like GDScript, which, GDScript wasn't meant to be this complex as it is right now. And it's been getting updates since Godot 4, like so many things, and people want so many new features. the problem with that is that the complexity keeps increasing, and it's less and less likely that we or other people can keep working on it. So before including something as big as this, we need to make sure that we can in the future maintain it, that everything that can go wrong we can fix. And yeah, it's not that we don't want it. Like, of course, imagine like if you would ask, do you want this? It will cost you nothing. You can say yes, we want it, right? Like every feature we have on GitHub, we want it. Everything, give us all the features. The problem is that then if you do that, then Godot would break, and nobody would know how to fix it. People, a lot of them, that they send the code, they move to something else. A lot of people who also want to contribute to these sort of things, they never made games. They are not making games, so they don't care, and they want to make the engine. They want to add new features, but they never consider how a game developer would use them. So you will end up with a lot of code that nobody's using, that is very broken, and that's slowing everything down. So that's the biggest issue with a software like Godot, right? Like that it has to accommodate with so many different like uses. Um, yeah, and many things can go wrong. So it's, hopefully coming soon, but it's a big update. Um, let's see. I think I skipped a couple of messages, but um, any state of the C# GD extension. So we are internally testing. I think we're very close to making a public release, but you can already find it and try it yourself. There are many things that are not exactly ideal at the moment. So the current developer wanted to make sure that all the known bugs are fixed, so we don't get them like reported a million times, or that people feel like it's a good improvement. But I'm confident that we can get it out during the release cycle for 4.7, but it will take a long time for it to replace the current implementation. So yeah. RE traits. I'm a fan of being conservative with language extensions. Better to proceed cautiously. Yeah. The main issue with this is like it's not like GDScript is not allowing you to make a game, right? Like you already can use GDScript to make many different kinds of games, and we don't want to compromise that. We don't want to make it so that it's not reliable. We don't want to keep adding stuff without actually considering what the downsides might be. And I know it's just convenience, right? Like you can make a game without having traits, so it's not the end of the world. Random aside, Godot website and stuff always looks clean. It's great to visit. Well, thank you so much. We had very good contributors, like especially for the release page. We had Thibaut helping us out with that, so it's great that you like it. Where did the name Godot came from, and what does it mean? So this one it's always, it's a bit controversial, because if you check on my personal YouTube channel, I did a small documentary about Godot, and yeah, when I interviewed the people and when I asked them, they give me different answers for the origin, and I think the original answer was that it was based on the Ace Attorney's game, Ace Attorney's character called Godot as well. This is what the creators of Godot tell me. But I've also heard that it's based on the Waiting for Godot novel. So whatever you prefer, I would say that's the official answer at the moment. But yeah. I don't know if you know like the character itself, but yeah, it's also, as far as I know, I played Ace Attorney, but I haven't seen the character in the game. The character is also from Argentina, like the creators of Godot. So yeah, there's more references there. Is the fair rendering planned, or maybe compositor features which make custom GI solutions easier? So I think those questions were answered. If you check on the live streams, the live stream that I did a Q&A with Clay John, which is the rendering lead, I think those were answered there. As far as I know, and I could be super wrong, so I shouldn't say it, but I will say it anyway. I think the fair rendering was experimented with, but there wasn't a lot of success in terms of like the feature like didn't work as good as we expected. But yeah, that's what I remember. um let's see, what about web GPU support? So web GPU support, I think there was a PR. um I see Kalinu is answering there like properly. Being installed. Yeah, exactly. The performance. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Kalinu, for replying. Um, Web GPU also, like, I think there was like a PR about it, but there wasn't like a lot of follow up on it. The main issue with this sort of thing is that every browser has their own custom implementation, so it might seem like it will be easy, and then you try it out, and then every browser behaves differently. So at the moment, there isn't many improvements coming along in that way, but I can say, and this is not public, of course, and might end up in nothing, but I'm talking with a few organizations that are interested in funding that work. So if we are able to secure the funding, we will hire a few people to improve the web experience. Not specifically the C# exports, but more like the regular Godot exports and the editor. But we'll see. If we get the funding, I will let you know. Um, any plans on implementing 2D inverse kinematic nodes? No, I don't think so. But I could be wrong. Isn't that already something that's there? Like, I'm never tried anything like that in 2D, but yeah, I can ask the animation team and let you know in the future. But yeah, all right. So that was more or less the first stream of the year. Uh, don't have a lot more news, so if you have any final question, I can answer, and I will leave it here. I should be back next week, as always. Maybe next week we already have like a test build for 4.7. But first we want to release the 4.6.1, so that will come first. Any updates on Asset Store? Yes, there has been many updates on the Asset Store, and actually I'm super happy. Let me open it. I'm super happy of how it is shaping up. There's a lot of plugins already being published here. There's even like some stuff that is not even being published on the asset library yet. We have many new features like the changelog, the reviews, many things that people were always looking for in the asset library. But if you want to know everything that has happened, we have here a roadmap and a changelog, so you can get a better idea of where we are going to be. Probably for 4.7, we're gonna drop the beta from the title here. It's gonna be replacing the asset library, and it's going to take some time for everybody to make the transition. But if it's successful, we're going to backport it, if it makes sense, to previous versions. So let's say that you're still in 4.6 and you cannot update to the new version, but you want to use the new asset store. We would release a point release, like a minor patch to add it there. But yeah, if you want to see what's been happening, there's the changelog here, and if you want to see what will happen on the roadmap, I think there are a couple of these that we already fixed, so we should close. But yeah. Can you sell in the asset store? You will be able to sell, but there's some things we need to finalize first, and we shifted our priority to just making sure that we replace the asset library first. After we replace the asset library, then the different plugins will be made, like the different functionalities, like selling plugins and all that. All right. For chaos works, I feel like we are always waiting for Godot. Where I just got 4.6 and I find myself looking to May for 4.7 already. Yeah, that's the thing. I think that the name Godot fix like works very well. It actually addresses the always waiting status that we are. But if you are very excited to try it out, please try the releases that we have on our website. Let us know if you find any bugs. Open your project with it. Of course, always use version control. And the more you test it, the easier it will be for everybody to fix those bugs. So yeah, I will leave it here. I see like 2 more questions. I see. What do you think would be the biggest change for 4.7? I don't want to say yet because we don't know. Honestly, that's how we work on this. We still want to make sure the features are finished before merging it. As of now, I can say that HDR is going to be a big change in terms of lines of code. The asset store and replacing the asset library will be a big change, but there's many other things that might make it in time. So yeah. Are you guys planning to bring back visual scripting in Godot 4? No, but you can use already plugins like block coding and things like that. But yeah, no plans at the moment. Visual scripting, I think it's quite difficult. I always answer it, but happy to give another answer. You basically need like a layer in between what the game is and what the code is to make it easier to show. And right now, Godot doesn't have that. So the visual scripting we can make will directly translate to code, and it will be very cumbersome. If you want to try something like this, there's, I think, Orchestrator and Block Coding, which are plugins that already implement that layer that I'm talking about, which is a layer of abstraction of characters, platforms, score movements, stuff like that. So yeah. All right, now that's it. See you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Glad to be back. See you next week. And let's keep waiting for Godot together. Remember to submit your proposals if you want to participate in the GodotCon. And bye.